should do it.
All right.
What are we doing?
Midday report.
No,
or-
it's not midday yet.
Well, morning report.
The brunch report?
The brunch report.
Yeah.
Call it the brunch report.
Yeah.
What are we? I don't even
What's
know
the
what this
topic?
is. What's the topic for today?
I don't know.
On the road home?
On the road again. Going through some road construction.
Yeah, so it's about 9:43 in the morning. We're on our first leg of our journey. We're on the first leg of our journey home. Oh, Pete's driving, I think. We might be off road, and I'm not sure. But got a little road construction. About 30 miles of it here on, what is that, 504, coming out of International Falls, up towards Dryden. Following the water truck, keeping the dust down a bit.
We actually ran into the wrong side of the road construction for a little bit.
We had a little Eggs Benedict this morning. Another fantastic meal at the Manotak Lodge. They wrapped up our fish for us and we're bringing them home. We're looking for a place for lunch. Amber hasn't decided where we're going yet. But, you know, that Eggs Benedict is sitting pretty good right now. How about it, Pete?
Yeah, I definitely think, I was joking yesterday when I said, what do you think tomorrow's breakfast will be, like Eggs Benedict or something? And all of a sudden out came the Eggs Benedict today.
Pulled it out and there
So I'm like, wow. And those maple cookies this morning, wow, those things were awesome. So yeah, we had a little cup of coffee and some Eggs Benedict here, and oh man, here comes the water truck is just
spewing all over the road again.
Yeah, so we got the water truck and we're tailing this guy. We had a great time on this trip. We caught a lot of walleyes, which that's what we were up here to do. Amber definitely caught the majority. She caught the majority of the quantity. She definitely caught all the ones we boxed.
For sure.
And those were all quality 17, 18, that kind of stuff. Because it's an 18-inch slot here, so you can keep them, in the up to 18. So we brought a limit of walleyes home, of course, and then we got a nice pike last night, so we cut that one up.
What are they doing here? Mining for gold?
Mining for gold.
Look at this. They got a ore pit going on the side of the road here. Look at
we
that.
got the taconite.
Oh
We're driving through the taconite mine here. So then
they're strip mining the road.
Fracking the road.
Look at that. There's a guy down there.
They're fracking the road this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. So then, anyway, and then Uncle Marc whacked the trophy of the trip last night. We got a 30-inch walleye, and then backing it up with a 25 and a 19 with 10 minutes left of fishing last night.
In the last 15 minutes.
We just got into them. So we burned out the last of the leeches. We went through 9, what did we go? 6, I don't know. What was our bait count?
6 dozen bait, 3 dozen leeches, and which I think is short because I think they didn't charge us for everything.
I don't know. We might have got some free
I think we
bait,
got a free dozen there.
but we got.
And they gave us 3 dozen crawlers, which we turned into 9 dozen because we were only fishing them a third of a crawler at a time
Right.
with a jig. Because everything was $6 a dozen, which can get pretty expensive fast if you're fishing nothing but leeches. We probably could have gone through 10 dozen leeches in 3 days.
Yeah.
Easy.
We did catch a pseudo trophy smallie at just 17. 17 inch and a half inch smallie was our biggest smallie on this trip. We had a 32-inch pike on this trip. We had a 30-inch walleye on this trip. We got we didn't chase the trophy perch they have up here or the crappies. They do have them because we know about them now, but
we saw another boat that had a 30 perch over. It had to be 9 inches to keep. That's a pretty good perch, and they had 30 of them in the pail yesterday or day before yesterday, I think it was.
Yep.
But we didn't really fish those. We wanted to catch walleyes, so we spent most of our time doing that.
We did give the jig and wrap some time. Our goal was to each catch a fish on a jig and wrap because none of us have done that before. And we weren't able to land a fish on a jig and wrap, but we got hit hard, and we had a couple big ones on the jig and wrap out in the deep water. So the next time we make this trip, we're gonna try it again because the big ones really do eat the jig and wrap.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the menu that we had at the lodge. 'Cause, you know, the accommodations, you know, the cabin that we got wasn't real great. It had it was just a room with 3 beds, which they were comfortable. It slept well. Had a couple of barca lounges in there that we could relax in, and the bathroom was small, but it was nice. It had good water pressure. The accommodations were good, not great, I would say. But the lodge was really nice, and the food they served was amazing. Prime rib the first night, pork chops the second night, ribs,
Barbecued
ribs last night. The breakfasts were fantastic, blueberry pancakes and eggs Benedict,
and then the breakfast
sandwiches.
Yep.
With the hash browns and the American fries and all that. It was just
Because dinner the first night was what?
Prime rib.
prime rib,
Then dinner the second night was
Pork chop.
pork chops.
pork chop. Then what was dinner did we do 3 dinners, right?
Yeah.
So that would have been Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. And what was Tuesday night? It was Wednesday. We had 4 dinners. What was the other dinner?
It was prime rib, pork chop, Saturday, Sunday, and then I can't remember.
Well, we'll have to look.
Ribs was last night.
Was there a chicken?
No.
Turkey.
Oh, turkey.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the best one.
Yeah, right.
Turkey, full turkey dinner, Thanksgiving
Yeah,
dinner.
Thanksgiving
Mashed
dinner.
potatoes, stuffing, gravy.
right.
Oh my God, that was awesome.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, turkey dinner.
Yeah, right. And then every night at salad bar and soup.
Salad bar and soup.
The tomato soup was unbelievable. And the squash soup was
They
unbelievable.
made these homemade biscuits and breads too that were really good.
Yeah.
The buns for the turkey were
Yep.
really good.
Yep.
And then the breakfast, they had that salad bar, and then they had a breakfast bar
Yeah,
in
breakfast
the morning in addition to the actual meal, so you could have a little cereal or some fruit or a little donut or cake or whatever. It was really good. And the desserts were delicious. They had all these
See, first night
rather
was a
simple
raspberry,
desserts, but just delicious.
chocolate raspberry mousse first night.
Chocolate raspberry mousse. Oh,
Second night,
Coconut cream.
coconut cream
pie.
pies. Yeah, that was really tasty.
And yesterday we had apple crisp and ice cream.
Apple crisp and ice cream.
There was one more, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Everything was so good, I just can't remember.
Yeah. It was all good. The food was crazy good. And the service was outstanding. The people who own this place are working and they're doing it. I mean, they take care of you here. They got good dock hands. You know, you pull in, they're down there helping you get whatever situated.
They cleaned all our fish for free. We didn't have to pay for that either.
Yeah,
Freezed them up.
Yeah, dry iced all the fish and we're ready to go.
It was great.
Yeah, it was a
And when
great.
we're gone, they cleaned up the cabin all
Yep.
night.
They clean the cabin every night, give you fresh towels, and
Get
then,
all the M&Ms we dropped off the ground.
and then they re-gas up the boat every morning.
Yep.
And then, you know,
And the boats were very nice.
and the boats were good. They were 18-foot, like outfitter Lunds and Crestliners and G3s, camp boats.
They had some use on them because, you know, they're a few years old, but the motors ran great.
Yeah, the 50 Yamaha.
50
four-stroke.
Yamaha 4-strokes on there,
And
run
everything was-
quiet,
Yeah, they were great.
push them real nice.
And they got all the stuff you need in them. The anchors, live
Net.
well, and all that stuff. And then we did a shore lunch, and they supply all the kit to go out there and do it.
Pots and pans.
Pots and pans.
Even a propane burner in case you don't want to
Start a fire.
Have to wait for a fire to start. Yeah, it was great. Definitely would come back to this place.
and chase the trophy walleyes.
Go after the big ones.
They are here, and there's no doubt about it.
There are people in camp are catching big ones. There was another group that had a 30. I talked to another guy that they had 2 29s in their boat. You know, so the big ones
They're around.
they're there. Lots of fish over 25.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun.
So we were at Manotak Lodge in
Ontario.
Western Ontario.
Western
Sunset
Ontario.
Country.
Sunset Country. Beautiful up here. Absolutely eye-catching.
Yes, the scenery is unbelievable. Our guys at the table, they went up and looked at moose yesterday.
They were gonna drive. They said they were gonna take a drive to try and see a moose, and they drove like 15 minutes and they saw one. Next to the side of the road.
Hanging
That was
out.
amazing.
Yep, big old bull moose.
There was a bear running through the camp the other night.
A lot of pictures.
Someone saw one of those too. So a lot of things to see, a lot of things to experience.
That's why you come to Canada to see this. This is unbelievable up here.
Canada is the ultimate fishing trip. I would recommend it. As a 16-year-old girl, I enjoyed myself a lot.
It was fun.
And we are definitely going to have to make our way back.
Yeah, we have to come back.
Because this place is definitely worth it, and our having been on Peralt Lake, Cedar River chain is a very manageable lake. It's not so big that you can't run it, but it's not so small that it's too small. And there's a lot of spots to try, and you don't have to go very far from the lodge if you don't want to.
Yeah, they give you a nice map and they mark all the danger zones, so you kind of have an idea where you need to be careful with the boat. But for the most part, it was very easy to navigate.
And they had spots marked on there.
Yeah, they
had
give
the
you an
danger
idea of where they're
spots,
going.
the shore lunch spots, good spots for certain species, and
Yep, they give you tips on where the fish have been biting, and if you dig a little deeper with conversation, they'll even give you some tips for some spots that aren't marked. So it worked out really well for us. The only thing that I would say is, if you're going to come up and you're going to rent a boat, you know, they do come with graphs. They're not, you know, they're a low-end Humminbird. They're a real small screen, maybe 3 inches across.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's the small ones. They work good. They mark. You can see the fish on them, and they give you depth and temperature. But a guy should really have a GPS, like a handheld GPS, or maybe if you have a portable unit, depth finder unit, like a Helix 7 Ice Edition or something like that. Maybe bring that up just so you can mark your reefs and stuff, so you don't spend so much time
Driving around
trying to find them again, because the lake's fairly big and some of those reefs are out in the middle of nowhere, and it's kind of, you know, the old skills of lining up this tree with that post and that point with this dock or whatever, it doesn't work out too good. I don't know if he was... Oh, he was turning. That was great. I thought he had his hazards on.
He did.
You know, why would he turn then? That's hilarious. What a... What a... I thought, yeah, why... He didn't have his blinker on. He has hazards on. Why would he turn? Oh, those Minnesota drivers. In tough shape.
so yeah, once again, Manotak Lodge is a good place for a fishing trip. If you love to fish all day and just fish as much as you want, this is the place to do it. It's a beautiful place.
I would agree.
Yep.